So I get promoted into my first leadership role at Disney, and I'm thinking I'm hot stuff. The reality is I'm clueless, right? But I didn't want you to know that I didn't know, so I pretended like I knew, right? So how it was found out that I was a boss with an agenda instead of a leader with a vision is I went through 360-degree feedback where my peer leaders and direct reports rated me on my performance, and if 5.0 was the highest, 1.0 was the lowest. The threshold for leaders at Disney had to be at 4.0 or higher. I came in at 3.5, 3.0 in many of the categories, many of the questions. Such questions as, do you trust your leader? Does your leader spend time with you? Does your leader walk a mile in your shoes? So my boss called me into the office, and it was not a very pixie dusted conversation. He said, walk me through a typical day when you come in the office. I'm like, well, I come in the office, I read my email, I return my calls, and then I'm off to a meeting. He says, do you ever stop to take time to engage the cast members at Disney? Employees are called cast members, to engage them in dialogue. And I was like, dude, I'm from Buffalo, New York. I don't care what they did this weekend. I don't care what the name of the dog, the cat, the niece, the nephew, the son, the daughter. You got the email, you got the memo, go forth and create magic, right? And he just kind of,
didn't like that.
He said, like, seriously? That would be your problem right there. And what I realized is I was so busy trying to build my career to get the next position that I forgot that leadership is an activity that builds trust, and trust is the emotional glue of all relationships. And when I really began to understand that, I recognized that if I didn't change my behavior as a leader, Disney was going to invite me to find my happiness elsewhere. The truth be told.
So that was a non-example, right?
Right.
Example in a way not to be
Exactly.
a leader. You didn't know how to work with your team.
Exactly.
You could do the vertical really well.
But the horizontal, didn't have those horizontal relationships, you know? And we think about it as it relates to education. One of the stories that Marceta and I love is the story of Robbie Hooker. His superintendent said, we are no longer going to allow poverty to be an excuse as to why students will not succeed.
Robbie said, you've got to go deeper than just what you're doing. It's got to be, what impact is it having on the kids? And when you begin to focus on that and say, poverty is not an excuse, these kids can learn. And new superintendent came, gave him that message, and that gave him the courage to say to his staff, stop, we're no longer going to let poverty be the reason, and we're going to start focusing on how can we get kids engaged in the curriculum and instruction and assessment so that they learn what we're trying to teach them.
Right. And one of your favorite tools in the book is upgrade the skill.
Oh yes, I love that tool.
And infuse the will. Why do we love that tool?
It helps you think about teachers. How skillful are they in instruction and in reaching, engaging kids, and how motivated are they to do it? Some people, like brand new teachers, they're all really highly motivated, but they don't have a lot of skill in the instruction. Whereas you've got other teachers who are very, very skillful, but they've been there a long time, they've gotten kind of cynical, that, you know, the new ideas have come and gone and it hasn't made a difference, people don't listen to them, so they've kind of tuned out. So this matrix helps you really look at, how do I take, what are the conversations that really will help move this brand new teacher forward into getting more experienced, and what's going to be the conversation to have with this skillful teacher that will help them understand that I do care, I do want to listen to you, I do think you have good ideas, and let's put those ideas to work.
And the other thing that I think that we love about the matrix is ultimately we want to leverage those that have high skill and high will, and how do we delegate to them, because they are the unofficial leaders of the culture.
It's really important that we help teams get working together, functioning, looking at not each other, but looking at student impact. And then that becomes the glue that really creates the new culture and gets people feeling empowered and working together.
When you embrace teaming, you move from me to we.
That's right.
And it's in that shift that really becomes the stickiness of everything you're attempting to do.